or welcome back to my channel. Today I am so excited. I have ten books, pretty much brand new-ish, from 2018 to 2022. Thrift Store book haul, guys. Okay. I am super excited about this thrift store book haul. Like, I am in love. Did I need more books? No. But, super excited for this video. So let's just jump right in. As you can see, I'm currently still reading Namesake. I hope to finish that tonight. And jump into my October. Huge October TBR, and I think I've probably set myself up for failure again. But that's okay. It's getting colder out. That means less time outside, etc., etc., etc. More time inside and snuggly and cozy and all that stuff. So let's jump right into it. The first book I found at the thrift store, I cannot remember her new book, and I just saw it today, but I cannot remember the name. But she is this is an older book by her, 2018, by Karen Slaughter, called Pieces of Her. So this is a thriller book. It pretty much says, what if the person you thought you knew best turns out to be someone you never knew at all? So Andrea Oliver knows everything about her mother, Laura. She knows she spent her whole life in the small beachside town of Belle Isle. She knows Laura's never wanted anything more than to lead a quiet life in this conventional community. She knows she's never kept a secret in her life, because we all know our mothers don't. Don't we? But all that changes when a trip to the mall explodes into violence, and Andrea suddenly sees a completely different side of Laura. Because it turns out that before Laura was Laura, she was someone completely different. For nearly 30 years, she has been hiding from her previous identity, lying low in the hope that no one would ever find her. But now she's been exposed, and nothing will ever be the same. The police want answers, and Laura's innocence is on the line. But she won't speak to anyone, including her own daughter. Andrea embarks on a desperate journey following the breadcrumb trail of her mother's past. Andrea knows that if she can't uncover the secrets there may be no future for her mother or her. So she's the author of Coptown, Pretty Girls, The Good Daughter. If any of these books sound familiar to you. This looks like a really good book. Haven't seen it on Bookstagram or Instagram, so we will see. But it's a thriller, and we all know that thrillers are fantastic. This is my third or fourth book that I own by Lisa Jewell. I have not read any on my bookshelf yet. My chair is just being annoying. Let's see. This is another 2018 one called Watching You by Lisa Jewell. Let's see what this one's about. Someone knows what you did. The instant New York... here we go. Melville Heights is one of the nicest neighborhoods in Bristol, England, home to doctors, lawyers, and old money academics. It's not the sort of place where people are murdered in their own kitchens, but it's the sort of place where everyone has a secret and prying eyes lurk behind every curtain. In Lisa Jewell's latest brilliant bone-chilling suspense. No one is who they seem. Who has been murdered and who would have wanted one of their neighbors dead? Watching you will keep you guessing until the startling revelation on the very last page. So this one by the author A.J. Finn, who is the author of The Woman in the Window. She says, page 1 intrigued me, page 3 hooked me, by page 5 I was consumed. This compulsive novel is both a seize you by the throat thriller and a genuinely moving family drama. Stellar. I have seen this review a few times on Bookstagram and Book Talk. Also, I have, looks like 4, I'm looking at my bookshelf. Actually, yeah, 4 of her books by Shari LaPena. 5 of her books. She's the author of The Couple Next Door, which, oh yeah, okay, wait. Oh, no, that's not the same book. Never mind. So I have 4 of her other books on my shelf. This one is called The End of Her. She is the author of, let's see if I have her other books on here. The Couple Next Door, A Stranger in the House, An Unwanted Guest, and Someone We Know. The End of Her, this is her 5th thriller, and fun fact, I had no idea this is a Canadian author, so I'm even more excited to read her books now. A long ago accident and a visitor from out of the blue. Stephanie and Patrick are adjusting to life with their colicky twin girls. The babies are a handful, but even as Stephanie struggles with the disorientation of sleep deprivation, there's only one thing she's sure of. She has all she ever wanted. Then Erica, a woman from Patrick's past, appears and makes a disturbing accusation. Patrick had always said his first wife's death was an accident, but now Erica claims it was a murder. Patrick insists he's innocent, that this is nothing but a blackmail attempt. Still, Erica knows things about Patrick, things that make Stephanie begin to question her husband. Stephanie isn't sure what or who to believe. As Stephanie's trust in her husband begins to falter, Patrick stands to lose everything. Is Patrick telling the truth, and is Erica the persuasive liar Patrick says she is? Or has Stephanie made a terrible mistake? I don't believe I've seen reviews on this book yet. This is 2018, I believe. Let me double check. No, this is a newer book. This is actually 2020. Heard of this author, and I'm pretty sure I've heard of this book, but I don't think I've seen reviews on this book yet. This book is by Gilly Macmillan. It's called The Nanny. And this book came out. The other books by her is What She Knew, The Perfect Girl, Odd Child Out, and I Know You Know. I'm pretty sure there's a newer book out by her. I just cannot think of the name at the moment. This is 2019, but I'm pretty sure I saw a book in the new releases by this author. I will think if I can figure it out, and I will put it in the caption below. On a hot night in the summer of 1987, Hannah, the Holt family's nanny, left Lake Hall without a trace. Devastating 7-year-old Jo, haunted by the loss of the woman she loved more than anything. Jo grew up blaming her beautiful, aristocratic mother, Virginia. 30 years later, in the wake of tragedy, Jo returns to her faded childhood home and is forced to confront her troubled relationship with Virginia. But the peace between the mother and daughter erodes when a human skull is accidentally discovered in the lake behind the house. The first of several shocks that rock the estate. Suddenly, Jo finds herself questioning everything and learns that her childhood recollections may not be what they seem. Who loves her? who doesn't? And what really happened on that hot summer evening all those years ago? This actually sounds really good. Have not heard of this author, have no idea about this author, but it's a thriller and I decided to pick it up. It is called 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. If you're on the list, someone wants you dead. So this kind of reminds me of The Guest List by Lucy Foley, which is on my TBR list for this October. This came out, this came out in 2022, so this is a newer book. Let's see what this one's about. 9 strangers receive a list with their names on it in the mail. Nothing else, just a list of names on a single sheet of paper. None of the 9 people know or have ever met the others on the list. They dismiss it as junk mail, a fluke, until very, very bad things begin to happen to the people on that list. First, a well-liked old man is drowned on a beach in a small town of Maine. Then a father is shot in the back while running through his quiet neighborhood in suburban Massachusetts. Blah, I can't speak today. A frightening pattern is emerging. But what do these 9 people have in common? Their professions range from oncology nurse to aspiring actor, and they're located all over the country. So why are they all on the list, and who sent it? FBI agent Jessica Winslow, who is on the list herself, is determined to find out. Could there be some dark secret that binds them all together? Or is this a work of a mysterious madman? As the mysterious sender stalks these 9 strangers, they find themselves constantly looking over their shoulders, wondering who will be crossed off next. So, another good thriller I'm super excited for. I believe I have another one of her books, but I can't remember. Again, this is an older book, and I know she has a newer book out, but I cannot think of the name. This book is by Megan Miranda. I need more of her books because she has the same name as me and she spells her name like me, which is pretty cool. So she's the author of All the Missing Girls. Excuse me. This one is called The Last House Guest. You can see I didn't really take this part off really good, but I'll work on that. So this book came out in 2019. So her other books are Perfect Stranger, All the Missing Girls, Come Find Me, Fragments of the Lost, The Safest Lies, Soul Print, Vengeance, Hysteria, and Fracture. Littleport, Maine has always felt like 2 separate towns, an ideal vacation enclave for the wealthy, whose summer homes line the coast, and a simple harbor community for the year-round residents whose livelihoods rely on service to the visitors. Typically, fierce friendships never develop between a local and a summer girl. But that's just what happens when visitors Sadie Lumen and Littleport resident Avery Greer. Each summer for almost a decade, the girls are inseparable, until Sadie is found dead. While the police rule the death a suicide, Avery can't help but feel there are those in the community, including members of Sadie's family, who blame her. Someone knows more than they're saying, and Avery is intent on clearing her name before the facts get twisted against her. And I need water. Books that are well known. This is a book on Reese's book club. A lot of people didn't really care for it. That's why I didn't want to buy it brand new. But I found it at the thrift store for $5.99, so I figured why not. This book is by Laura Dave. It's called The Last Thing He Told Me. And this book, I believe, came out in 2021. Before Owen Michaels disappears, he manages to smuggle a note to his beloved wife of 1 year. Protect her. Despite her confusion and fear, Hannah Hall knows exactly to whom the note refers. Owen's 16-year-old daughter, Bailey. Bailey, who lost her mother tragically as a child. Bailey, who wants nothing to do with her stepmother. As Hannah increasingly desperate calls to Owen go unanswered, as the FBI arrests Owen's boss, as a U.S. Marshal and federal agents arrive at her home unannounced, Hannah quickly realizes her husband isn't who he said he was, and that Bailey just may hold the key to figure out Owen's true identity and why he really disappeared. Hannah and Bailey set out to discover the truth, but as they start to put together the pieces of Owen's past, they realize they are building a new future, one neither of them could have anticipated. With its breakneck pacing, dizzying plot twists, and family drama, The Last Thing He Told Me is a riveting mystery, certain to shock you with its final heartbreaking turn. Okay. I'm excited by this. I've heard good reviews, I've heard not good reviews, but I'm pretty excited about this book. And like I said, since I found it at the thrift store, $5.99, why not? This was a book that I've actually checked for this at the thrift store a few times, just because it was on my TBR list and it's a book that was talked about. This is a newer book, 2022, I believe. Yes, 2022. Now, I thought... Yes, so I do have her other two books, The Wives and the Ron Family. This is her newer book called An Honest Lie by Taryn Fisher. So I do have her other books, The Ron Family and The Wives, which I found at the thrift store, so I'm super excited I found her newer book also. This book says, I'm going to kill her. You better come if you want to save her. Lorraine Rainey lives at the top of Tiger Mountain. Remote, moody, cloistered in pine trees and fog. It's a sanctuary, a new life. She can hide from the disturbing past she wants to forget, if she's allowed. When Rainey reluctantly agrees to a girls' weekend in Vegas, she's prepared for an exhausting parade of shots and slot machines. But after a wild night, her friend Braith doesn't come back to the hotel room. And then she gets a text message sent from Braith's phone. Someone has her. But Rainey is who they really want, and Rainey knows why. What follows is a twisted, shocking journey on the knife edge of life and death. If Rainey wants to save Braith and herself, the only way is to step back into the past. Dark, disturbing, and deliciously addictive. B.A. Paris. So I'm super excited for this one. This one is also 2022. I'm excited because it's 2022 and it's a rom-com. That's why I grabbed it. I notice rom-coms usually have bright colors, bright writing. So when I saw this at the thrift store, I grabbed it and it said romantic or contemporary romance. So I picked it up. I don't believe I've seen this or reviews on this one, so I have no idea what this is about. This is called Party of Two by Jasmine Guillory. These last three books. So this one, I figured I would read the back of this book. This is A Party of Two by Jasmine Guillory. A chance meeting with a handsome stranger turns into a whirlwind affair that gets everyone talking. Dating is the last thing on Olivia Munro's mind when she moves to LA to start her own law firm. But when she meets a gorgeous man at the hotel bar, they spend the entire night flirting. She discovers too late he is none other than hotshot junior senator Max Powell. Olivia has zero interest in dating a politician, but when a cake arrives at her office with the cutest message, she can't resist. It is chocolate after all. She is surprised to find that Max is sweet, funny, and noble, not just some privileged white politician she assumed him to be. Because of his high-profile job, they start to see each other secretly, which leads to dates and silly disguises. When they finally go public, the intense media When they finally go public, the media people dig up her rocky past and criticize her job and her suitability as a trophy girlfriend. Olivia knows what she has with Max is something special, but is she strong enough to survive the heat of the spotlight? Okay, so again, I said Super Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I cannot believe I found this book at the thrift store. My heart is so happy right now, and I can't wait to read this. This is on my October list, along with her other book, The Guest List, and I also hope to read The Hunting Party. I have it in like the small prints that I found at the bookstore or the thrift store, and I don't really like the smaller print books. I like these books. So I always try to get these I believe are like the they call these the international books, which I'm not sure why. Like the difference is massive. Like her other one is like half the size, and I just prefer these. Jess needs a fresh start. She's broke, alone, and she just left her job under less than ideal circumstances. Her half-brother Ben didn't sound thrilled when she asked if she could crash with him for a bit. But he didn't say no. And surely everything will look better from Paris. Only when she shows up to find a very nice apartment. Could Ben really have afforded this? He's not there. The longer Ben stays missing, the more Jess starts to dig into her brother's situation, and more questions she has. Ben's neighbors are not particularly friendly. Jess may have come to Paris to escape her past, but it's starting to look like it's Ben's future that's in doubt. So I'm super excited for this book. Last book that I got from this amazing thrift haul is another Megan Miranda book called All the Missing Girls. No One Just Ever Disappears. When did this book come out? I would like to check this. 2016. So this is an older book. Nicolette Farrell has made a successful life for herself in Philadelphia. She has a job, a fiance, both of which she must leave behind in order to go home to Cooley Ridge to care for her father. She left 10 years ago, not long after her best friend, Corinne, disappeared and was never found. Now, days after Nick returns home, another girl goes missing in Cooley Ridge, reawakening Corny's case and breaking open old wounds not yet healed. All the primary people of interest in her disappearance are still in town. Nick's brother Daniel is expecting a baby with his wife. Corny's former boyfriend works at the local bar. Corinne's former boyfriend works at the local bar, and Tyler, Nick's ex-boyfriend, is dating Annalise Carter, who was the group's alibi the night Corinne disappeared. But now it's Annalise who is missing. Telling the story backwards, day 15 to day 1, Nick works to unravel the truth about Annalise's disappearance, revealing shock and secret. Telling the story backwards, day 15 to day 1, Nick works to unravel the truth about Annalise's disappearance, revealing shock and secrets about her friends, her family, and what really happened to Corinne that night 10 years ago. So that is my massive best ever thriller, mostly thriller, hence the one book. And if you want to stick around for a while, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.